All right, we can do camera only.
Does that now just... Oh, it does now? Okay. All right. Sorry, everybody. We're going to try this again. It is Wednesday, January 10th. Tech Talk is something we do every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today is a particularly special one.
Jimmy says now they hear us.
Okay. Today's a special one because we are doing prep on the race car. And we're just going straight from the camera. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know either. So, anyways, as usual, if you have a question during this show, please go ahead and type it as a comment. She'll read it to us, and we'll be able to answer to the best of our ability. King of the Hammers is a big part of what we do here at GenRight. It's also a big part of what drives all of our R&D and different things we do, right? Like it's the driving force. So
You're saying the sound is very low.
low. Okay, I probably gotta talk.
Well, I mean, we'd almost have to be standing on the camera.
On the camera. How close are we to the camera? Okay.
Speak up, buddy.
All right. So we're gonna cut to the chase because we already missed a bunch, and let's talk about 2024 King of the Hammers. So we have you and Peter racing in car 353.
4,500. That'll be on, I think, February 2nd.
We've got Albert Contreras racing in the 4600
On stock class.
Yep. Which
He's
is
a
cool.
wild man. I could not imagine
Yeah, he's
taking
good.
on
And
stock
he's been
class.
racing for a lot of
He
years. We've got Jordan in the 98.
Yep.
Yep.
He's ready to rip.
There's Jordan over there waving. And Blake Holland's going to race this year.
Yeah, Big
Number
Blake.
2404 in his JKU.
He's been a part of the GenRight race team for many, many years, so it'd be cool to see him out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's racing a Jeep in
Yeah.
unlimited class, so that's going to be awesome.
Okay, so while everybody's gathering their questions, let's talk about where we're at with Jordan's car, and then we'll kind of get into everything in general. Right? Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. Old engine? New engine?
Is there any chance they hear him?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Can you, since it's all about distance, why don't you move in?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got new engine yesterday, and so old engine's out, and you can see the car is empty because it takes a lot to get the new engine in.
Car is empty.
Yeah.
Car looks good, Jordan. Car looks great.
So Jordan is meticulously prepping the engine. This is final prep. There's no rechecks or tests or anything after this, so everything he does has to be spot on right now.
Okay, they say the audio's good. They can hear you fine.
Okay, good.
What you doing there, Jordan?
I am plugging a couple oil jackets that we don't use on the block, or water jackets, sorry. A couple water jackets. We only use the front water jackets on this motor, and
Oh, the little steam
the
ports.
little steam
Oh,
ports.
gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. And I am trying to literally just do that.
Find the right spot.
But yeah, so I'm basically stripping the parts that we don't have duplicates of out of this motor, transferring them onto this motor. As you can see, that motor has a lot more stuff on it still. I just got the crank pulley off. I got to get the flywheel off. I got to get a bunch more. I got to swap valley covers. Bunch of stuff. So I'm hoping to have the motor, the new motor, ready to drop in before I leave tonight. So
Stacy Swanigan asked how many races on an engine before it gets refreshed.
it's
The engine builder
So,
tells us
it's-
80 hours.
and that's on the high side.
And that's doesn't matter. That's key on. So the moment the motor's running, whether it's idling or at full throttle, it's 80 hours.
They're getting mostly comments about how bundled up You all are.
Everybody is.
How it
Guys,
must,
it is cold.
it must be at least 60
live in
degrees.
California.
I'm
We
not
don't-
sure
we don't
why
like
the
the
big
cold.
back door's open, just
Yeah.
letting all the cold air in.
How cold is it? Like 50?
It's probably like
It's like at least 20s.
No way.
Yeah.
Usually we have like some diesel heaters going on around here,
Yeah.
not the back door open and it's cranking. It gets,
We're
it gets
missing-
kind of cold at night.
we're missing
Like
the
it'll get up to
diesel
60s during the day, but I think it got down to like upper 30s last night, didn't it? That's way too cold for California.
Yeah,
I did
that's
not move
way
here
too
for that.
cold. What jets are you running in the carb? Alex Israel asked.
Jets.
Jets? You got jets? You got NOS?
This is all EFI.
no jets.
With NOS though, definitely NOS. 100 shot, 200,
Nos.
just for qualifying though.
Bo Fisher asked, is there anywhere we can buy KOH merch which would directly support the GenRight team?
Are you guys doing merch this year? Or are you guys doing new like to
Is
sell?
that already passed?
We're just doing the team
No,
stuff.
but like on GenRight.com to sell. You guys usually do.
No, we didn't even do it last year.
We can do it this year. I can run extras. We're just about to place the order, so we can run some extras.
So that's a firm maybe. Check back with us next time.
Hard baby. What motor are you guys running in the race car?
Okay, so it's a LS platform, but there's not a single Chevrolet part in it. So
That sensor was pretty.
that might be it.
I'm running the same sensor, Jordan.
I'm
You
running
need a
the
spare, I got
So
you, man.
every single part on this is aftermarket. The heads, the lifters, the valve train, the pistons, the rods, the crank, the block.
Everything.
You know, every single thing is aftermarket.
And it all has to work together.
It does. So we go to a special engine builder that's fairly close to here called Redline Performance, and they're the masters at matching all these parts. And this is a 454 cubic inch small block. Is basically the way it works out.
How long have you guys been racing at KOH?
Since
You've been there almost since the beginning, right?
Yeah, I missed 1 year, so for the very first year that was kind of unofficial. So yeah,
A lot of years.
years.
Jeff, everyone wants to know what's in your cup.
Guys, it's water. I've been sick and I'm still coughing, so it helps me not cough.
Good.
Sorry to disappoint.
Yeah, anybody who's racing is in training, and you're on water and a good diet and going to the gym, and it's like running a marathon. You need to be at your peak for race day.
What
Correct.
size pop-up pistons and flux capacitor are you running, Jordan?
That's
No, there's a real question. Are you all doing the everyman race?
So that's what Jeff and Peter are doing.
Yeah, that's what we do in the 4500. Jordan races the 44 and limited class.
Janet Norris wants that hoodie with the white, or that one.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Well, everybody wants that one. That's the Banshee hoodie, the Jeff
That's
Perkins
the Jeff
special.
hoodie.
That's my Jeep.
And it just happens to match my hat.
I was gonna say, I low-key noticed it's turned into your favorite hoodie.
Yes.
I think it probably has something to do with that Jeep
And
on
I
the
love
front,
how it
but-
matches his hat. It's great. Is it billet block, the engine?
Not billet, but it is aftermarket. It's an RHS block from Comcams.
Jeep Pope said Redline Performance built my Corvette motor.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
If you want to go fast, they're the place.
Alex Israel says Jordan's gonna blow the welds on the manifold.
Probably.
Why? Why say that?
I don't think it's gonna
We
happen.
don't talk about negative stuff.
It's not gonna
before it
happen.
happens, Alex.
What jets are you running in the carb?
No
Ricky.
jets.
Okay, where are those serious questions? Come on now, guys.
Well, okay, so let me just talk about serious stuff.
Okay.
So the RHS block is a special block that's taller. So when we run the bigger stroke crankshaft, so this engine has been bored and stroked to get us up to 454 cubic inches. This is a little over 800 horsepower and 790 foot-pounds of torque. So it is instant throttle response, and a very lightweight package. So
Do you get higher compression when you do that?
higher compression. It's 12 to 1.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah. You go past 12 to 1 and you're asking for trouble in anything other than a dragster. So, because this is kind of an endurance
And
motor.
dragsters use their motors for maybe a weekend.
Right, maybe. And during that time, they might have run in 15 minutes,
Yeah.
So,
Oh, here we go. Matt McDonough asked, what physical preparation do you guys do to be ready for KOH?
Well, you always have big plans, then you get sick. I don't know. Usually, I just cut back on crappy food, and usually I go to the gym quite a bit anyway. But Jordan's kind of the same way. He goes to the gym fairly regularly as
And
well.
Jordy, are you doing cardio or are you doing, what are you working on?
I've been trying to go as much as I can lately. I've been usually going at lunch,
That's when I go.
but it ain't as much as I want to be going. But
But when you do,
usually I'll ride the bike for like 10, 15 minutes, just kind of get warmed up, and then do some weights, and then I'll go outside, do like sit-ups. Sometimes I'll run. I would say like right now 50-50-ish. And then sauna. Can't forget the sauna. Cole loves the sauna.
all right, when I used to race, I was very serious about it. And I had a strict exercise regimen, diet, everything was very strict. And especially this time of year, we're just after the holidays, so like Jeff mentioned, everybody starts getting sick. So you got to be really careful to stay 100%. Race day's a long freaking day, and in the 4400 class, I used to lose 6 pounds during the day. So it's like a cage fight.
Yeah.
So
And to be honest, the biggest thing is no alcohol, no
sugar,
soda, no food
yeah.
that kind of makes you feel slow,
Yeah,
sluggish, and
Right.
crappy. Just kind of clean your diet up
Eating
quite a bit.
decent food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't do when I was sick. Like Grubhub bill was
Yeah.
outrageous.
So now you're cleaning up.
Now I'm cleaning it up. Extra.
Yeah.
Like, I even made broccoli last night. That was
That's
wild.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
And then liver and onions. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Oh,
Oh,
liver and onions.
Liver and onions.
Adam,
I don't want to win that bad.
Adam Harrell asked, what's Jordan and Tony's best finish at KOH?
You got second a few times, right?
Yeah.
And are we talking Jordan
44.
4,400 or are we counting 45 as well?
Well, let's
do
What's
both,
your
Jordan.
best?
What is?
He hasn't really been
I
racing
think you got second
44.
place in
I've gotten second
the
2
45.
or 3 times in 45, and then I don't know. I've had weirdly bad luck in 44, but
Well, they're
like
just
most of the
I
drivers.
think
Yeah.
I think we got like. Cole, do you remember what we got a couple years ago? 22nd or something?
I think 24th.
Was it 24th?
I think so.
Yeah, low to mid 20s
And you
in
got
44.
You got 18th the one year
In 44?
in the old car.
Maybe. I don't know.
So
I don't remember. That was like 6 years ago.
I know. It's a lot.
I don't remember either.
5 years ago. something
Esther Parrott Newcomb asked, if you're not involved in a race team for KOH, would you still be there or watch from home?
Like,
Still
this
be
is
there.
a personal
That's
question.
a very personal. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yes, I would still be there.
There's so much fun that
It's
It's so much
happening
fun. To be
outside
honest,
the
I would come
race.
early and watch the race. Almost watch the race from home.
Really? That's what I was just gonna say. Like, I would still go, but I don't know if I would go for the whole time.
it's like Burning Man for motorheads.
Yeah.
It is. It's unbelievable.
Actually, I guess you do know everything that's going on if you like hang out by the jumbotron.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd still go. It's
I'd
still
still
an
go.
awesome time. You can hang out by the big jumbotron, watch people finish, and there's a few obstacles you can jet over just if you see your favorite people come through.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a ton of fun.
And you can go wheeling outside of the race times. That's fun. A little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Usually at night though, but what good happens at night, Tony?
Nothing good happens.
What octane does Jordan run?
Octane.
Octane.
What are you running, Jordy?
110 leaded.
110 leaded.
What axles are you running in the car? Can you talk about the specs?
Yeah. No. Okay, so Jordan, as a lot of you know, runs, this is an independent front and independent rear suspension. And right now the portal boxes are off the car, but the portals give Jordan a 4.5-inch ground clearance advantage over any other independent suspension car. So that's a big advantage. For, you know, most of the time, if you've been out wheeling before, you know that even a 1/2 inch of, you know, getting stuck on something, 4.5 inches is like
Well,
miles.
think you go from a 37 to a 40. That's like an inch more ground clearance.
Right.
That's this is a full 4 inches.
Right.
This is like going from
So-
a 33 to a 40.
It's nice, yeah. So, in addition to that, you know, he's got a special differential in the front that spools one way, very similar to like what's in a Razor. So if you come off a jump and you aren't on the gas, the front end will still let the car come out. It won't decelerate on the front end. In addition to that, it's got a locker built into it. It's a very compact race unit that goes in here. And then he's got house steering, a little ARB compressor here. There's an engine and a differential cooler right here with fans. These are Griffin coolers, like a heavy duty one. He's got a warm winch tucked in right here, and then Vision X lights all across the front. You can see the size of everything is huge. It has to be really, really beefy. Even right to the bolts, you know, all these are high quality ARP bolts and, you know, just crazy stuff. This is a dry sump motor. Dry sump gives you about an additional 75 horsepower. So the oil sump sits here. And then he's running a special Rancho Turbo 400 transmission. All his shocks are up on the shelf right now. Yeah. So.
And you cannot be big to ride in this thing.
No. It's a very compact.
It's
deal.
tight for me.
Yeah. This is like being a fighter pilot. It's
Pretty
all
much.
business. Yeah.
Pretty much.
And then if we go to the rear, so the rear is 100% apart right now. So there's no suspension arms, there's no shocks, there's no differential. The guys were inspecting everything. So actually spin around. This is what they're doing right now. So they're going through and they're polishing out all the scratches. They're inspecting everything to make sure there's no cracks. And then they're going to get something on there, some kind of rust inhibitor to keep that from happening. They also are going through and replacing all of the uniballs. And you can see these things are giant. I mean, these are
And those are all FK, right?
FK. Yeah. So the FK brand is like the true aircraft. You can see the transfer cases over here. There's part of the steering right there. So he's got 2 gear ratios to choose from in the transfer cases. And then here's a whole variety of the axle shafts down here. These are 300M. And then here's some of the gears that come out of the portals. There's the exhaust. We just got fresh race tires from Mickey Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one of the differentials.
What size are the tires? 40.
I can just. Or you can.
That's okay. That's a bit. You pushing pretty good? There you go. So this is a special unit where the side, this is where the CV hooks directly onto, and then there's a axle shaft that I showed you over there that hooks into it. The connection to the transmission is similar to what you have on your Jeep with a yoke. And oh, here's the CV. So these are the CVs, and Jordan just race prepped these the other day. So he goes through a series of polishing them so that they move really, really easy. I'm not going to open them up because they're all super clean and they're ready for grease right now. So he's spent, and if you see on here it says prepped, and that means they're ready to go for grease.
Ricky Turner asks, what's a conservative estimated cost of running in the race. Base race crew, nothing extravagant.
Well, it depends on the class. That's a big factor. And Jeff, I wanted to see if she could get around. Can she get around that way with the tripod to see where Jordan's working right now?
I'll just push this motor.
Yeah.
Because where he's working at is where he spends most of his time. Well, the CVs take a lot of work.
This is the least fun area of the entire
This
shop.
is, anybody knows if I'm over here working to not bother me, because they're probably going to get yelled at if they need something. Or it's going to take me 10 minutes to clean myself off so that I can help them with something.
Yeah.
And it really just is not fun.
No, it's not. It's not a good place to be working over here.
I would rather put together hoses than this.
Yeah, literally. So this is where I break down. I have all of my CV tools. I got buckets with fluids in them that help me clean the CVs. It helps break down the grease quickly. You can see over here. I don't know if you can see that, but I got all my CV and drive shaft hardware in a bucket right here. So that's all got to get gone through still. So I'm not done playing with CV grease yet. You can see I'm just getting ready to break down the CV savers. So those go into, they sit on the face of one of these CVs. Oh, now there's parts falling out. That's great. They sit on the face of these CVs. So basically, if we did lose a boot during a race, see how nasty this grease is? It just spreads. If we lost a boot during a race, it's not going to let the CV get full of dirt. It's going to help keep a lot of dirt out. So as the boots, I still got to clean the boots. I think I cleaned and prepped and polished 12 CVs this weekend. So I had enough fun.
Fun.
This is a very small version of what like an axle shaft would look like. That's actually one of the 2 front drive shafts. And again, all very clean. I've already gone through this one. It's ready to go. I'm just going to put a little bit more grease in there, but I took everything apart, cleaned it all. But yes, that's a scaled down version of what an axle shaft.
Talk about why, even though you said drive shaft, why this doesn't look like a regular drive shaft.
So this is a CV drive shaft, which is not very common on off-road vehicles, mostly because it's a very expensive way to do it. That drive shaft right there is probably a $800 or $900 unit. Each of those CVs are a couple $100. That shaft, that's a 300M shaft, 33 spline if I remember right, 32 or 33. Just the shaft itself is a couple $100. So it really adds up. It's a lot cheaper to do traditional like 1350 style U-joint to a carrier bearing. But we have to get around certain things in the car from the T-case to get to the front diff. So there's a big, is one of those? No, I don't have it. There's a big shaft that comes from the T-case to right about the center of the car. So it'll come from the T-case to right about here. And then that tiny shaft is what goes from there at the carrier bearing to the front diff, which is roughly just behind the coilover.
Here you go, Jordan.
Yeah, so this is the first shaft. This is the first stage from the transfer case, and then goes to a carrier bearing. This sits on the shaft. Another flange. This CV bolts to that flange. That bolts to the diff. So it's a very complicated way to do things. It's a very expensive way to do things. I mean, that's a $400 or $500 shaft, and then it runs a $1,000 CV. So it's ridiculous. But again, these cars are built so tight, and we don't have a lot of room to work with. So that's sometimes what you got to do to get around certain things.
Yeah. And how it's different is, opposed to a Jeep, you don't really have to worry about it moving.
You don't have to worry about
That's
it
how you
moving,
can route
and you
it.
don't have to worry about it hitting rocks,
Exactly.
right?
It's very
Because
protected.
all of this is
Buried in
covered
the car.
behind 3/4 inch worth of skid plates.
Yeah,
You know,
so you don't have to worry about U-joint flex, front
like,
and rear.
like
which is
if
nice.
like if you were to bolt a shaft like this on a Jeep and hit it,
done.
You would barely touch it, and it would be a taco. But because we don't have to worry about direct contact, direct hits, we can run small shafts like that. So, yeah.
Bo Fisher said, just curious, why no boost? Is anyone running a turbo motor at KOH and keeping it cool and alive?
It's just more stuff to package, more stuff to cool. These cars already have enough cooling problems.
There's a few guys that have tried like superchargers.
Yeah, I saw one guy with a Pro Charger.
Like Derek West used to run one.
Yeah.
But I think it even gets into like the tuning at different elevations.
Yeah.
Complicates that quite a bit.
Yeah, Kevin used to run a turbo.
Yeah, I think there's a few guys that have tried and still currently run probably each, a Pro Charger, a Supercharger, a turbo setup.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more stuff to package. It's easier to just build the motor bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
I think it turns out almost being cheaper doing that.
Yeah, and more
Probably.
reliable.
Yeah,
for
way
sure.
more
Probably.
Yeah, those turbos and other superchargers are very finicky, right? Like you do anything to those and they're damaged.
I think a supercharger would be the most compact way to add power.
I want to put one in my Jeep.
I want to put one in my Jeep.
Yeah. Let's get some superchargers.
But it's still a lot more stuff to package and build around. And nowadays, the parts for these motors that are available are so good that you don't really need to.
Do the portals give a gear reduction as well?
They do 1.55 to 1.
Alright. Matt McDonough asked, did the benefits of a high pinion rear axle and lifting the driveline get outweighed by the weaker differential for a Hemi Jeep on 37s?
Yes, you want that high pinion for sure. But in order to do that, you got to go to a 70 in the rear to get the reliability that you're looking for.
Does a race car ever go out on trail rides?
No.
I mean, you
It's rare. We have, but it's rare.
Yeah. Only if it works out for pre-running while we're on the trail.
Yeah, it's usually like a coincidental thing, or it just works out, but usually not.
It's hard to go slow.
It's hard to go. It's definitely not like the average trail speed in this car is probably 4 times faster than what most people are comfortable driving through rocks. You know what I mean?
And to be honest, if they tried to even go
And
your
they
slowest,
tried.
they would beat the crap out of that
It would be
rig.
total. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense for this car to try to like trail wheel, and like going back to the whole 80 hours on the motor thing that we talked about earlier. Like if I went out for one day to just trail wheel, that would take
10 hours out of it.
a tenth of its life away. You know what I mean?
It's just not worth it.
It's not
and
worth
it's not
it.
even as fun.
No, like it is
Peter
fun,
did
but
his at EJS that one year.
It is, but yeah, I mean, we don't have near as built.
it's
up
a lot of
motor
stop and go.
or-
Also, like normal trail wheeling is a lot of stop and go. This car doesn't like that.
I don't really like it either.
I don't love it, but like it's a lot easier to just hop through a door versus hopping over a tube and putting a helmet and all that stuff on.
What are the
And you do
questions
never want to operate it without a helmet.
No,
all that stuff.
exactly.
no.
Because if the throttle, it's just
Esther Parrott Newcomb asked, what is Jordan's best advice for a rookie trying to finish the Everyman Challenge?
Best advice for a rookie trying to finish the Everyman Challenge. I would say to literally just go out and trail wheel. Don't race. Don't follow the other guys, because all those other guys are gonna go and drive the wheels off of it.
over there?
And that was my first year in 4500. That's what you told me. You're like, just go out and wheel. Like, let those other guys do what they want to do. And we got
you'll see them in the
fourth.
next mile
And we
too.
got, we
Yeah.
got fourth
Yeah.
with a
at
stock
age 15.
inline 6.
Yeah.
That was a very basic
that was
build.
Peter and I's plan last year
Yeah.
too. Just drive our own pace.
Yeah.
people want to fly by us, they can. And
Yeah.
You're 100% right. You see them later.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Or you see them never leave pit.
Yeah. It's a very it's a long day. It's longer than most people realize, and that's why a lot of people overdrive the cars early in the race, super early in the race, because they're forgetting the fact that the whole first 90, 100 miles, that's the easy part, right? So you don't want to trash the car in the easiest part of the race. I mean, it's easy to do. Trust me, it's very easy to do. I'm saying it like it's easy to do what I'm saying, but it's
you really have to
you really got to wrangle yourself in, because it's you in your own head at that point.
Agreed. And you have to, like, the whole week, you have to get yourself in that mindset.
Totally.
Like, I'm just going to go my own pace.
Totally.
Casually wheel.
Yeah.
Not super stressed.
But you gotta keep on it, because literally every single car that goes by you, because it's gonna happen, you're gonna be like, oh, I need to go faster. Yeah. Like, no, just chill.
And that's actually why I kind of like EMC, because it is kind of attrition, because there's so many limitations.
Oh yeah.
Anthony asked, "What's your favorite meal the night before the race?"
Oh, that's actually a good
Anthony,
question.
chicken and dumplings are for dinner tonight. By the way, I was gonna draw you a picture, but I didn't have time.
I don't know.
I usually do carbs, but
I don't even know. Maybe I do.
I mean, in all honesty, it's the lake that I eat whatever's put in front of me.
Whatever you
Eat whatever's put in front of you, but eat smart.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta keep in mind that you don't get bathroom breaks the next day,
like,
so eat something that's...
Don't eat that lake bed sushi.
Yeah, no. That, yeah.
Is Gunner still co-dogging?
He is.
Oh, yeah, gun show.
Gun show is back in the car for another round of fun.
Yeah. Do you guys do the Baja 500?
No.
No.
Be cool, but no.
Would be awesome.
Scott Williams says all you guys are going to be chasing him, just so you know.
Who's that again?
Scott Williams. The guy you'll be chasing.
yeah, the races we do are kind of dictated by the sponsors. So the sponsors care about KOH. That's what they want us to do.
The guy that just said that we'll be chasing him, he gets less hours out of a stock motor than you do a built one.
That's funny.
The meal during the race is eating my dust, he says.
Yeah, eating dust is for sure.
He's throwing down.
You know, Scott, there's still time to register.
I know. I don't know if I heard your name being read yesterday.
Kind of back it up, Scott. Let's go.
Okay, Jordan, biggest learning experience from last year that you plan to use to your advantage this year?
Oh, that's a great question.
That is a
Bo
good
Fisher
question.
asked that.
I don't know.
Gunner's gonna buy shoes he can hike better in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like literally every year, the learning curves change. You know, we learn something about the car one year, and then, you know, something during testing that next year may happen, or something during that next hammers may happen that, you know, all right, we've got this figured out. Now we need to, you know, focus our attention on this area. Yeah. So every year it's different, but yeah, I mean, planning ahead for failures, I would say, is the biggest thing I took away from last year. For those that don't know, we had a training cooler take us out 2 years ago. The cooler cracked, dumped all the oil out. We were a mile from the finish.
Yeah.
That was
Terrible.
tragic. So that happened last year, lap 2. Right, we learned from that. Okay, we need to, you know, beef up the cooler. Right, we did all this stuff. Had pretty much fully redesigned the cooler. Last year, same thing happened, but in a different area. It cracked in a different spot. It broke in a different way. So this year, right, we went back to the drawing board, reinvented the training cooler again. Now it's pretty much an entire billet transmission cooler. But again, like what you were just asking, what did I learn this year? Even though we have a better whatever training cooler, we're still I'm gonna mount a bypass cooler, so like a secondary cooler back there, so that if it does break again, we can just, you know, put the fittings on it and keep going. So That's the biggest thing.
Alternator.
Yeah, and alternator. So yeah, we've been chasing an alternator issue for about a year and a half.
Because we don't do a lot of night driving.
We don't do a lot of night driving, and we figured out at night, with the addition of the lights and the extra things on the car that run, it was overpowering. It was overdrawing on the batteries in the alternator, so it was sucking our batteries dry, and then the car would die, wouldn't restart. Whole thing. But again, I think the most important thing is to just take every bad experience and turn it into something that you can learn from and improve on the next time.
It's just super hard, especially in your class, though, because it literally just takes the perfect day.
It does, yeah.
Like, those top 5 guys, they are balls to walls the entire time, on the verge of their wheels falling off. Yeah. And it just takes a little luck and the perfect day in your class now.
I mean, even the amount of winners that have, like, you know, said, if I had to go another mile, this thing would have fallen apart. Or, like, there was something clearly about to fall off that car. You know, like, literally, it's anybody's race. There's no one person or multiple people that has the recipe. You know, that's what's so cool about Ultra 4 is everyone builds something different. The trial and error is fully in effect at King of the Hammers. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's cool to see that. It's cool to see what works, what doesn't, the issues people have, what they did to fix that. You know, and I'm sure people learn from what we've had happen. You know, so.
How do you drink water during the race?
So we carry like 2 bottles in the car, or 2 per person. We
have squirt guns at pits.
Yeah,
so we squirt it in his mouth.
We try not to use those waters unless of an emergency. But usually when we pull into pits, that's the only time we get to drink. So that's 30 seconds to a minute. We have to suck down a little bit of water. And you don't want to drink too much, or else then it's shaking up, you know, in your belly.
Water or energy drink?
No, both. Doesn't matter, dog. Liquid. Any liquid in your belly, I'll tell you that.
C4, if you're watching, he prefers that in the pit.
I do prefer C4 in the pit. It keeps me amped. But, yeah, no, that's...
You get a pit like every hour.
We get a pit like every hour, yeah. And then if it's not every hour, we're probably having an issue, and we're probably drinking that emergency water. So.
Yeah.
But it's literally like a gulp or 2 at every pit. You can't drink any more than that, or else you get all sick.
Yeah, you feel rattling around.
You feel it's horrible.
Sloshing,
yeah.
and then
literally 1 full gulp or 2 max.
And you want to stay hydrated while you haven't worked out with the catheter, so you can go to the bathroom. Nobody likes to.
No. Yeah. Every time you have to use that catheter, it's like cross your fingers.
Please work. Well, last year it just
didn't work.
Exploded.
Well, yeah, because it gets kinked, right? And there's nowhere to go.
The hose gets pinched by the seatbelt.
Oh no!
Yeah. It's a problem.
Last year I just peed all over Peter's seat about 3 times. And nothing I can do, although I had a white race suit on, so the first time I got out of the traffic jam, I'm like just putting dirt all over the place. And then Jamie, we got in the traffic jam, Jamie has like, I guess he was there shooting, as me like peeing on the side of the car because the catheter was working.
That's funny.
Yeah, good times.
Janet Norris wants you to know that a Hellcat Hemi would work well in an Ultra 4 car.
Good to know.
Bring it out.
Yeah.
And Tyler Lawson said me and Tony have matching hoodies on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Makes Jeff happy.
So, you want to know what our engineer did? His wrench wouldn't fit in his tool bag, so he cut it in half, took a section out, and TIG welded it.
A little shorter.
Yeah. I have 3 that won't fit. I'm going to bring them to him.
You like that?
I do like that.
You like that?
Yep.
That's one way to do it.
Right.
Does anyone need a co-driver? Matt McDonough will ride shotgun.
Oh,
and Sydney Patterson will fit in your race car, so she wants to go.
Oh, that's my buddy. She will fit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Looks cold in the garage.
It's chilly.
It's chilly.
Nobody's closed the back door yet.
And it's still open.
I was going to show everybody all the aircraft kind of fittings and stuff.
Yeah.
These are the same kind of fittings that you find in an airplane. And this is pretty cool. You can spin this with a drill, and this will pre-lube the engine before you start it. So that's pretty cool. And then of course, there's a coilover and a bypass on these cars. You can see everything is very tight, and all the electronics. I mean, there's just
It
a
is
ton.
very tight. If he comes in the pit and he's like, check this. Sometimes you're like looking through 3 canals that are like this thick. It's tight, but has to be.
Ari's got a question.
Is these two things? Can they see these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ari had a good question. Wants to know how they can support you guys from home during the race.
I mean, cheer for us on social media, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the more people that know about GenRight and what we do, and that this is our heritage, the better. It really is what drives all of our products. So that innovation comes from racing, for sure. Okay, so I wanted to tell everybody about these two things. These are accessible from the driver's seat, and if he loses a front brake line, he turns this valve. If he loses a rear brake line, he turns this valve. And it isolates those away, and then he still has brakes on one half of the car.
One of those things zip tied to them.
Right here? Yeah, these are extra belts. So the co-driver would get out to identify which belt's missing. Jordan would break this loose and hand it to him, and he'd slip it. And these are special belts that you can slip on without any tools.
They're trippy looking.
They are. They are. And then window nets, right? Go up.
Keep his butt in there.
Yep. And then quick fill fuel. So the car will take 22 gallons in 30 seconds. So it's a very quick fill. And this is the fuel cell that everybody can see right here.
Oh, Nana says angels on your shoulders, Jordan.
Beautiful.
Why don't you come around this way?
Okay.
Okay, so this is a fuel-safe fuel cell, and you can see there's a fill on both sides of the car. Within this fuel cell, there's 2 Aeromotive A1000 fuel pumps. Those are very high volume, high pressure. They run through a whole series of Aeromotive filters, and then that goes up to the front of the car. So this is filled with a special kind of foam that keeps the fuel from sloshing and getting aerated. So, yeah, really, I mean, look at the size of that fill tube. I mean, it's huge.
Who makes that pre-luber?
Who makes that pre-lube, thing on the...
Oh, that's a Peterson.
Is that a Peterson thing?
Yeah, Peterson.
Yeah, that's cool.
And what are the pros and cons of a mid-engine versus a front engine?
Well, the front engine does better on climbs. So, if you're going up something like backdoor, the front engine's going to be better. But if you're going across a desert, then you want the weight back, and the mid-engine's better in that case. So,
Is there any way to test the spare motor before the race?
so the shop does a dyno tune on a stand, and I've posted pictures of that before, but the real true test is in the car, because you want to be using the fuel system, the ECU, everything about the car, the cooling system. You want to use all the systems on the car to verify that it's all right before you go to race.
Bo Fisher said, any thoughts on ever building a stock class car? Love the 4400 class, but there's just something about the stock class that always makes me tune in.
So the closest we've got to the, obviously we support Albert Contreras, who is a stock class driver, but the 4500 class, that's actually built with all of our off-the-shelf parts. So all of our Legend kit, brackets and everything, and Curry axles, I mean, literally it's the same stuff we sell.
And about once a year, I think that I want to do a stock class build, but while in theory it's super cool, there's still a ton of money that needs to go into the safety, to everything to get it to pass tech. And then at some point, I'm just like, am I really going to spend all this money on a stock class car?
Yeah, and you're on 35s, dude. That's like riding a mountain bike out
See,
there.
I think that'd be fun.
I don't know.
Jeff, what color is your race suit this year? Brown?
Blue!
That
Blue?
wasn't my question.
Did you get a new suit?
The other thing I wanted to point out
You
was,
showed up to have
was
it, so
this
you would
little
have
guy.
seen it.
Can you
What
zoom in
is
on
that?
this? This is a fire system.
That's the NOS.
No. That is a fire system, and it's Jordan can trigger it, or if the temperature reaches a certain temperature, then it fires off. So that's an important piece.
In theory, automatically saves the car issue.
Yes. Yeah.
What is the chassis made of?
This is all chromoly.
On Obtanium.
Yeah. Yeah, certain parts, by the rules, certain parts of the cab have to be 2-inch diameter, and then other parts can be 1 3/4. And then you can see smaller tubes, on the inner sections.
And all that depends on the weight of the car.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes, we run extra gussets and stuff that aren't mandated by the rules, and then they don't care what size it is. So, and you can see the rear bumper's replaceable, so if it gets damaged, you can just take it off.
Can we live stream the race? That'd be cool.
Not
yet.
But
Not yet.
there's a lot of things in the works getting there that'd be
For
pretty
next
cool.
year.
Yeah.
So some people can if they did the Starlink thing. But I think KOH will actually have really good coverage this year. They're making a lot of strides to do that, so that'd be cool.
Ricky Turner said it would be a cool slideshow for one of your tech talks to show Tony through the years on race day, then Jordan beginning till now, and I guess you can include Jeff too. No comment? Okay. What is the adjustable section on the back part of the frame?
Well, it looks adjustable. It's replaceable. This is the whole rear bumper. Yeah.
Tommy Dykstra said we will be live streaming from my truck. Awesome.
Cool.
When do you head out to Johnson Valley?
The 24th.
Yeah, that's when I'm going.
Yeah.
I think Hammertown opens earlier, but
Yeah.
for the King of the Moto stuff, which is bad, which is cool.
Yeah.
I want everyone to do it, but man, it's fun to watch.
It's cool. Yeah.
Do you guys build the chassis in SolidWorks and test before the full production of it?
So, in this case, this chassis was originally built by somebody else. Then we cut the whole thing apart and redesigned it. So, in that case, yes, it was done in SolidWorks.
Yeah, and then the one you used to race was all done in SolidWorks.
Josh Nesser says, come on, Jeff, let's race stock class.
You buy me a rig, I will race it.
All right. How are we doing on time?
Oh, when are you going out to the Hammers again?
24th.
24th.
And then our race is the second. I think yours is the third.
Probably.
Yeah.
If yours is the second, mine's
Yeah.
probably the third.
Okay.
Anything else you want to add?
That's
Jordan?
correct.
No, not
Caleb
much.
Pfeiffer.
Thanks for watching.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Tony. Hi,
Well, why don't you
Jennings.
talk about
What
how
about
many
Jennings?
team members it takes on race day?
Kayla.
Wait,
Yeah.
Kayla joins almost
Kayla.
towards the end? No
Yeah,
way.
like at the very end, and didn't even say hi to me. But then I'm not on camera, so
Were there any questions?
no.
I wanted Jordan to mention how many team members it takes to run this car and race day.
Oh yeah. They did ask about what kind of prep and costs and stuff. So
Yeah. So it's pretty much the three of us that prep the car. We get some extra hands here and there to do odd jobs, whatever. But
hi, Kayla.
mainly the three of us, and then out during Hammers Week, we'll have probably 40 people out there to be in the pits, chase around the desert for us, get parts, whatever. That week there's a lot happening. The three of us can handle it here in the shop, but we have all the tools we need. We have everything we need to work on this car right here. So out there, it takes a lot of extra hands to make that whole week happen. So yeah, a lot of people. So thank
And
you
there's
to all them.
pre-running, there's qualifying.
Yeah, and there's things that have to be done, back at the pit garage while 4 or 5 of us are out pre-running. So
Yeah.
it takes an army to make that week happen. Seriously.
Good luck, guys. Thanks for showing us the car.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Any new sponsors for this year?
I don't think so.
so.
No,
No,
I think it's all the same as last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
Everyone's hanging in there.
I was pretty happy with all the products that have been on it. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We don't like to change too much when we like something.
Yeah, no, changing is
Okay.
not.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll be doing a regular Tech Talk next week, and then we'll be back talking about the hammers the
Well,
following after that.
next week, regular one, and then after that, I think the next 2 or 3 are from the hammers.
From the hammers.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
it's going to be pretty exciting. And I just want to reinforce to everybody that all of the drive and development that we do for racing is what trickles down into the innovation and parts that we offer for Jeep. So hopefully you guys can see that and our passion.
And that's where we learn what works or not, what
Right.
product's going to hold up,
Yep.
why we do things a
How
lot of
big
the
it needs to
way.
be, what size bolt
Uh-huh.
it is, like all that stuff.
Geometry, why things work,
Yeah.
because we learn it in racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next Wednesday.